We get to do showbiz now, because Miss G is here. Hello, Miss G.
Hello, Israel. So on Tuesday, Uche Jumbo and Frederick were on Drive Time on Joy, and one of the things that Sammy Forsin asked them was how come their movies are penetrating, their Nigerians, their movies penetrate Ghana, but we don't get
penetrating.
Penetrating.
Or finding their way into the Ghanaian
still
market.
Penetrating our system, and how come we don't get ours? What do you use?
Finding their way
into their market. I think you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But Uche talked about the fact that a lot of the actors in Nigeria invest the money they make in movies back into the industry. That's how come they have a vibrant industry. But Peter Sedufia, the man who directed KTK and Side Chick Gang, disagrees to some extent. He says in Ghana, we don't even make the money. We don't have the numbers. How then do we reinvest?
It boils down to so many factors. That because we don't have the population for the movies, or we don't have the movie-going population in Ghana, the returns we make are small as producers. And so the amount we invest in our films are also small. And so the amount we pay the actors are also small. So they don't make enough to even get to that point that they want to even reinvest into their film. The one they make is just enough to take care of them and probably buy them, rent them some house, or buy them some car to move around to the next location. Or they're not enough to ignore their needs and then start investing. You get my point? If you had a very big market, so many cinemas, big population for movie going, movie appeal is just there, and people trooping, I would make a lot of money. So next time when I'm paying an actress, I pay a lot for them to be in the film because I know I'm going to make so much money.
But why haven't you featured the Nigerians yet?
We're working on it. You know, the figures keep looking
the figures of having them come on set?
Their rates and they maintaining them and this, it's quite expensive. Bringing an artist down could be close to even your entire movie budget.
How much on an average?
I think the average person, okay, one Joe crown, $25,000.
Whoa.
Yes, one Joe crown, $25,000. And then before you go and even start booking an appointment, you have to pay for some things, and then the hotel, and like some VIP treatment and things like that.
So and these are A-list?
Yeah, 25,000 is one G crown, and that's just for the pocket. And so the hotel bill, the feeding, and the PA is going to bring and probably bring 2 people in addition to his team.
Then $25,000 can pay like how many Ghanaians?
I don't know, 25,000. That's if you get actors that believe in your project, are passionate about it, and are willing to work on it, not purposely because of the money, then you're going to be paying about 4 to 5 or 6 Ghanaian actors.
Then they make
if you are one, you can even pay 10. That is if you are hiring stars that believe in the project.
All right, so we keep our stars here and we keep our money here and grow our industry anyway. And then let's talk about Beninoa music again. You know that we've been talking about how our music does well in Benin, and how people and how the Beninois wish that they had the kind of industry we have. So our colleague, Jean, you know, you have the rest of the name.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a Beninois colleague who is back to Benin and sample the thoughts of Beninois on Ghanaian music.
That's Kwame Eugene's Wish Me Well, lighting up the atmosphere in a bar. It is called the Code Bar, but this is not in Ghana, but in the capital of Benin, Cotonou. Kwame Eugene is not the only musician whose songs are loved by people in my country, Benin. Ghanaian artist of a decade, Sarkodie is another. And then there are Shatawale, Stoneboy, and the list goes on. Carlos is a student in the Cotonou suburb of Akpakpa. He speaks about his love for Ghanaian music.
I know many Ghanaian artists like Stoneboy, Shatawale, and Kwame Eugene, for example. I have one song I like, I love, and the song is for Stoneboy. And he said, if I die today, I swear this song makes me high. If I die today, I'm a hero.
The founder of Black Legion Studio says he has plans to do something with Ghanaian Afropop and R&B artist Kamido. I have worked with Ghanaian artists already in the past. I've followed a lot of artists from there. Kamido, for example, he is a revelation for me actually. Music in Ghana is different. Showbiz is well alive. I would like to live it like this here in Benin. Prominent singer Sesame shares some thoughts.
Yeah, the old artists are more known in the industry than the youth. Because of what? Because of that, the most important of the population is not on the network. How can you be known if you cannot sell to the public what you did? We are 70% of the population is not connected. They are analphabets. They are not every time on Facebook or Instagram.
But ultimately, it appears the energy to have African music enjoyed by Africans. Jean-Claudel Cizogan's report.
All right, so we'll visit Benin one of these days to see what's happening there for ourselves. But before I go, the Win of Revival is Joe Mettle's event, gospel event, and after that we'll have the launch of his album. But yesterday at the press conference, it was asked about security, and he assured patrons that things are going to be in place. And then he talked about surprises. They asked him, what about if a secular artist decides to surprise him?
Surprise there, but you can be very surprised. You can be surprised in the way you'll be surprised. Because what we do is not just musical but also spiritual. Certain things are a bit sensitive. You want to make sure that the program is running according to how it's supposed to be run, rather than all of a sudden something can actually shift everything to a different direction per how things will go. Maybe the person doesn't know how the arrangements are and all that. So if the sense is to bring that person, why not? But until then, it stays like that. But the support of being there, why not? I mean, we would love to have the person there. First of all, it's a gospel concert, but it still doesn't mean that we won't. So we have security. We have the police. We have.
All right, and before I go again, he's bringing Jonathan Nelson all the way from United States of America. He spoke about that briefly and why he always prefers a live worship concert.
The beginning was difficult, very difficult, but as time went by, it became more of an experience for me. Not that I'm experienced in it now, and that's why, but then the fact that sometimes I don't even see it as a live recording. I still look at it as like a worship service. And for me, one of the main reasons why we do live recordings is to capture the atmosphere. So if I become too strict and too straight, then I don't get that atmosphere that I want. And so it's become more of like a flow for me rather than like a rigid kind of recording. Even though it's more expensive. So live recordings are more expensive than when you just go to the studio and then put something together. And so that's probably maybe the difficulty, but God has always been faithful to us.
Yeah. See Jonathan Nelson at the background here. He's geared up for this year's edition. Why Jonathan Nelson?
Jonathan Nelson, because I think he carries a grace that is able to interpret the kind of theme and direction that he's a worship leader. He's anointed. He has what it takes to lead the people of God in worship and another thing. And that's why we chose him. Jonathan and I have been friends for a couple of years. I've never even had the opportunity. And this year when we got the theme, God laid on my spirit that this time for now for us to bring him. And that's the reason.
All right, so on the 30th of June, all roads lead to the Perez Dome. We'll go worship with the Win of Change crew and Joe Mettle. So that'll be it for Showbiz.
Okay.
And I see you.
Thank you very much, Miss G, for bringing us Showbiz.